Of course we're not. So. Hello, hello. Yeah, sounds good to me. How you want to do it? Whereas I think it's somebody from my Discord. May well be. Fan club is assembling. It's looking. I've got my phone next to me, and it's looking all good. Natalis?
Yeah, my mic was muted. That's really awkward.
Oops.
Yeah, good start. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Bird Girl. Hello, Natalia. Scotsword was just talking to himself because he's a crazy person.
As I always do.
And it wasn't anything to do with the fact that my mic was muted. Nothing to see here. Nobody's here yet. Anyway.
Hopefully they can hear you now.
We've shaken out the bugs. Appreciate you tuning in. Let me know, now that I'm unmuted, what the levels are like. Feel free to give me feedback throughout. I can always tweak it. So we've started the game. And yeah, welcome Scotsword, because I was muted when I said that.
Thank you very much.
We might start the game and pick our hands and sort of get that part of it going, and then within the next few minutes I expect maybe a few people might be trundling along into the chat. So yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to call you nobody's bird girl. Not at all. I appreciate you. But I want to avoid the people coming in late, shame on them, and then saying what's going on. So I'll hold it for a little bit. Hello, Swiftly. Welcome.
Hi, indeed.
I actually think the delay was slightly less then.
It does look. It does. So I was going to say that actually, the way you responded to Birdgirl's comment, it seemed you'd said it a little bit before, but it didn't seem to be
not as bad as it had been. Yeah.
As good.
Okay, I'm watching it now.
It's quiet.
I think I might have reduced it down to about 10 seconds, maybe.
Oh, that's good. Turn up the volume swiftly. There might be a you thing.
It is quiet. Okay, I can bump it up a bit, maybe. Or maybe I'll
also my mic
bump Scott down slightly.
Oops. Oh no, Michael was here for the selfie. That didn't happen.
It didn't happen, Michael. I'm gonna gaslight you on that.
You know you can edit the stream afterwards, right? So you can cut that out. No one will know anything about it.
No, it's fine. I'll own it. See, Bird Girl, now they're all trundling in. Late. But welcome, everybody. You can see Alex is here. So you're picking your hand, Scott?
Yeah, I've been given quite a nice one. I've got a Franklin skull.
Ooh,
so
exciting.
To that. I've also got a Clark's Greave, so I'd happily take the Clark's Greave. I'd happily take the gold. I've also got Mitchell's Cockatoo. So we could get a little bit of co-op.
We could. Again, we're playing Otomarazzi, but it's also 1v1, so the aim is not only to beat Automa, but to beat each other while being able to see what each other has. So it's kind of that it's a co-op game, but I'm winning kind of vibe. No got round 2 I just saw as well, so that's
and maybe just for vibes I'll go grassland data analyst.
What was your other option?
Behaviorist.
Okay, I 100% would have gone behaviorist there, but to each their own.
I'm thinking, but if I'm going full grassland, I might not be able to get a lot for behaviorist. So I've only got 2 in a row for. I have to get quite big bird for the next thing. I'll just do that. Yep, that's right. We'll go deer now. Let's just to have a bit of fun.
Okay, fair enough. It's not my idea of fun, but
I'll be the antithesis of flan.
okay,
Today.
fair enough. I also have a very, very nice starting hand. It's actually perfect. Like, chef's kiss, no notes, exactly what I would have wanted. Can I read out this epic lineup to you?
Sure, go for it.
Grey catbird, ruff, chipping sparrow, fish crow. I've skipped one ahead, and the 5th bird. Drumroll, please. Guess what it is? It's our boy.
Loggy.
It's Loggy. So, how perfect is that? I'm like just gonna take them all, I think, to be honest. Maybe not fish crow.
I'm really glad. I'm glad that I don't have the pressure now of having to pick up and playing Loggy. It's already in your hands.
Yes, that is a stream rule. Whoever encounters Loggy has to pick it up and play it. Indeed. So I'm very happy. Our stream is blessed by the presence of our small son with his butchering habits. All right, so yeah, I think I'll take those 4 and maybe take a berry and get the catbird down and get catbird chippy going. Seems pretty good to me. Use it to cycle through rough. Hey, do you mean tuck Loggy? We're not tucking Loggy. How dare? I'm kicking you out swiftly.
Oh.
Automatic exit lane. Alright, so now we've got a few people in here and we've picked our starting hands and gotten the game going. Let's just remind everyone what Scotsword's got here. So Grassland Data, good luck to him. Franklin's Gull and Major Mitchell, I believe that was. Oh, already chucked the gull down. All ready to go.
Just going.
So officially, welcome to my good but also quite new friend Scotsword, to our first kind of official episode of Shrike That. We had a few kind of false starts and a few test streams, and I think that's pretty normal, pretty natural, but this is kind of the first one that we're kind of doing the thing in its full concept. So hopefully there aren't any big hiccups. I probably just cursed it then, touch wood. If there's any issues with the audio, any balance problems, feel free to let me know in the chat throughout. I don't mind that, I can tweak things. But basically the concept is that Scott and I are going to play this open hand game. It's 1v1 within Otomarazzi, which is a bit of a weird concept, but we're kind of pioneering that a little bit. So it's co-op, but we're also kind of wanting to win, but also we can't lose to Automa either. So that's the plan. But while we're playing, we're going to have a bit of a chat, sort of do a bit of an interview, kind of a little bit of a 10 questions with kind of a vibe. Although I don't have 10 official sort of questions, I have had a bit of a think about what I want to chat about, what I want to ask about. And so yeah, without further ado, just before we start the game officially, I want to again thank Scott for coming on board, especially for the first episode. He sort of said during the week, he said, "Oh, will they be sick of me because they sort of saw me during the test streams?" And I was like, nah, mate, you're beloved. Not, if not by everyone, which I'm sure you are, then definitely by me. So definitely happy to have you here for a chat and a game.
I'm very happy to be here.
So for those who don't know, Scotsword is a streamer in his own right, much more experienced than me and my little fledgling channel here. So I believe he started out on YouTube and has recently, a few months ago, switched over to Twitch and is loving it over there, but still posts on YouTube his VODs and things, and also has a cute little Discord community, which I am now a part of as well, so I can confirm good vibes in there. And streams Wingspan stuff, of course, him being a valued member of our Wingspan Discord tournament server. But also Fury of Dracula is one of his main loves, and we'll hear a bit more about that game shortly. But also things like Roller Coaster Tycoon. We're doing a bit of Stardew Valley. I have a few Stardew Valley skills myself, so we've been having fun with that recently. And just a few other board games, and just trying things out and celebrating, I suppose, playing board games in general. So did I miss anything there, Scotsword, with that little intro? Oh, and also has a podcast with his friend.
True.
Is it Aruki Mania? Is that how you say it?
I should try and get this right. I should really know the correct pronunciation. I always say Arukimania or just Aruk. It's fine. That's what I normally call him on the podcast.
Yeah. So you've been doing the podcast, I believe, for about a year. You got about 18 episodes going, and it's a monthly thing. Barring disaster, but I had a bit of a look earlier, and looks like a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to listening to some of that too. It's called Keeping You Company, the podcast. So that's on your YouTube channel, and I believe now on Spotify as well. Is that right?
Yep, as requested by my Twitch community, they pointed out to me that listening on Spotify would be better. So I've shifted all the episodes that were previously up on YouTube. Everything's still up on YouTube, but everything's been moved across onto Spotify, and then now. For the episode that came out at the beginning of this month, it went out on YouTube and Spotify simultaneously.
Sure.
It'll be on both platforms from now on, so you can go through all the archive footage and stuff.
Excellent. Very, very cool. And what I was going to say is, no, I've completely lost it. Oh, did I miss anything? Basically, I sort of took it upon myself to introduce you. I made you do it yourself on the test stream.
My mantra is, if I've forgotten something, then it wasn't important.
Okay.
So if it's something that we both forgot, then it clearly wasn't important.
Sure. But yeah, definitely want to have a chat about Fury of Dracula, maybe once we get the game going. But just a little bit kind of biographically, born in Scotland, and now living in Spain. That's
going to be controversial. I'll have to correct you. I mean, anybody who knows me from my I could just let that slide, but I don't think people who know who'll be like, that's not true.
Oh, grew up in Scotland? Maybe not born there? Is that... Okay.
I was born in England.
Fair enough.
I moved to the north of Scotland when I was three. So I have no memory of England. Was the place I used to go and visit my family during the summer holidays.
Okay.
It's not a place I identify with either culturally or in terms of this is where I'm from. Also, being the only sort of English kid where I was growing up, until later on when more English families were moving up to that part of Scotland, I had to adapt pretty quickly to being more sort of pro-Scottish and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I'm happy to be corrected, and certainly sort of explains maybe you don't have the accent because your family is English. Is that sort of the case?
Yeah, I think I've got a bit of a weird mix because my family from the south of England, so I feel like I've got the standard RP accent, but there'll be things that I'll hear things. I'll hear the Norfolk accent will come out every now and then there is some Scottish mixed in, but it's not very strong. It's normally when I talk to English people and I tell them, oh, I'm from Scotland. They've told me to my face, oh, you're not from Scotland.
Oh,
and then I start talking to them even more. Yeah, no, in terms of just accent, they don't identify it.
Fair.
And then I talk to them a bit more, and then it'll click, and they'll say, "Oh,
they can
now
hear little bits." Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. Just briefly looking at the chat, welcome Hen and Kitty and Nimsay E, and I said before to Michael and Alex and Birdgirl and Swiftly, and did I say Natalia? So welcome everybody. I'm sure there'll be more sort of trickling in and filtering out, but welcome everybody, and I hope you have a good time. But yeah, not to interrupt the conversation, you moved recently to Spain, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I suppose I shouldn't say recent anymore because it was in 2019, so
okay.
I guess that's not recent anymore.
So a few years under your belt. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. So suppose we could take a few turns of the game, and then I definitely have pressing Fury of Dracula questions because I have done my homework, as I said. And
I'm looking forward to being very impressed here.
Yes. Well, don't put that much pressure on it, but yeah, it looks really interesting, and I'm actually probably maybe a convert there. So yeah, we'll see. So taking my first turn, just to recap everybody who's joined since we picked starting hands and etc. Scott's got grassland data, so good luck to him on that, and has a very nice Franklin skull who's already popped down in the grass, and Major Mitchell, so a bit of pine cone sharing perhaps to come, but probably a nice pairing with the gull in the grasslands. Got a nice tray here, falcon, fruit, dove, grackle. So we're playing 1v1 Otomarazi. So the concept is it's kind of like it's a co-op game, but I still want to win. I still want to crush Scott into the dust, as we say. But it's also open hand, and I can see what he's doing and vice versa. So my hand, pretty epic, gotta say. We got Ecologist to start with, which is not bad. We can see the star of the show here. So our stream is blessed, and we will be playing him as per the stream rules. And we have, yes, I know I don't have the food for him yet. We have the Ruff, very nice, Chippy, and Grey Catbird. So we're going to be having some fun. I am feeling good about this game. If only I could get this sort of a starting hand in a tournament game, but alas.
But that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be very nice. But yeah, to the chat, feel free to ask any questions, interact, chill out, and yeah, enjoy the show. Sorry, I'm going to start by putting down Chippy, not particularly controversial. Oh, hey Yaz, welcome. Didn't realise that was you.
Lives. Well, I'm going to lay eggs. I don't think that'll surprise anybody.
We're shocked.
I might just yoink that fruit dove. I do have the food for it.
That's true.
Extra co-op, which we like. I do need some sort of easy forest bird, and I could be digging forever, and he'll get the cockatoo down sooner. So let's just do that.
Yeah, it is a pretty nice hand, Kitty. I'm pretty happy. Going in confident. So watch me crash and burn from here. All right. Drongo is interesting, but I think I will get on with what I want to do. Unfortunately,
expensive for one.
Unfortunately, the feeder is not cooperating with what I want to do, which is get the catbird down straight away. But perhaps we could put the Ruff down and take some cards.
I mean, you will be getting a berry from me, so that will help out a little bit with that.
I will gladly take a berry. Or snap Drongo, yeah. Maybe we'll trade pine cones for maybe some nectar.
So I'll get my dove down. Just get a little bit of extra food going.
Very nice, very nice. So festive vibes, but also I want to win. And Logie will help me, I'm sure. And if I can get it done soon enough, the Automa will trigger Logie, so I expect a chat party every time Logie gets a cash. Otherwise, feel free to leave if you don't support that. I'll have no disrespect to my boy in this space, thank you.
Oh, you have to kick Kenobi immediately then.
Zobi, behave. Hello. I think, and feel free to give me feedback on this as well, I think the delay will be a bit shorter because I played around with the settings a little bit, so let me know. All-star Logie game incoming. Yeah, Kitty's already advocating for a drinking game. Oh, it is my turn. You didn't take your turn and I didn't even notice.
That's quite a bold start to the week.
Yeah, it's Monday morning. Oh, Kitty. Bless you.
I will take the rat because I want to reset. Oh, there you go. There's some nectar for you. How does that work? If I'm giving food to the Tomoratsu, how does that work? So number of food converts to eggs.
Sorry, what was the question about Automa's horde?
Because
Sharing food?
I'm giving food over to the Automa. So.
Oh yeah.
How's that work?
I wouldn't worry too much. But yeah, it does convert to points in a. What did I set it to? What's the easiest? Is it 3 to 1 or is it 5 to 1? I don't know. On the easiest setting, so it's not a big deal. I wouldn't worry about giving Automa food in terms of points. Hen's ready to party.
I want to get the cockatoo down, but there's 3 nectars sitting there. And I don't know if I really want to give up that nectar, so I'm just going to yoink that, I think. I'll give you yet another berry. There you go. You're very welcome.
It's got to be past 5 in Aussie land. Kitty, do you want to sort of check that math? Because you got it very far.
I mean,
oh, you mean for
5.
drinking? Yeah, it is past 5 for sure. It is. Yeah, it's 24 minutes past midnight here, so definitely drinking is acceptable. Although, as it gets further and further into the wee hours of Tuesday morning, I suspect it becomes less socially acceptable. No, we're not doing an all-nighter because I actually do have to work tomorrow, but not until noon, so we're okay. Oh no, I missed out. I missed out.
Pink powers twice in a row.
I made the wrong choice. It's okay. Loggy still has time to shine. It's okay, it's okay.
Get my cockatoo down.
Alrighty, so we've got the game sort of going. I think we're on sort of rails for a little bit here. So, actually might start out with Wingspan. Tell me a little bit about what drew you to Wingspan in particular before we go into Dracula combo.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how that came up, actually. Do you expect me to play my turn while I'm talking, by the way, or do I pause?
Up to you, whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm trying to think, actually, how that came about. I do remember watching a YouTuber who had a little IRL vlog channel, and they were showcasing some of the board games they liked. And I think at that point, A, because I liked that YouTuber, but also because I was trying to find more board games to play anyway. I was just trying to consume as much stuff as possible. And they showed, as well as Terraforming Mars and Small World and stuff, they had the base game of Wingspan. And I'd never seen it before. And I'm not a big birder. So wouldn't it be a game that I would instinctively look for, oh, are there any games about birds? But I just liked when they showed like the little cartoon images of the birds on the cards. I thought it was really neat. I normally get drawn to cards which have a nice theme to them, and the artwork is really pretty.
Sure, yeah. I don't think anyone can dispute that it's a pretty game.
I can't remember how long ago this was, how far along the expansions. Maybe only European expansion was out at that time. It was pretty new. Now, I mean, when I'm looking on Board Game Geek or things, on the social media, almost every post I see has people have Wingspan in their collection. But maybe back then it wouldn't have been as big as it is now.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I must have come across it. But then I'm trying to remember exactly how I got. I didn't buy the board game until after I picked up digital, so I can't remember. Maybe I put the digital onto my wish list and then I picked it up, or I started watching Flan's videos and then I picked up the digital edition. I actually can't remember now. Everything's kind of mushed into one at this point.
Yeah.
So certain things I can't remember when exactly I came across it. But it had been something along those lines anyway. I think I bought the digital edition almost 3 years ago at this point, but I didn't start playing until about 2 years ago.
Okay, so you sat on it for a little bit while you had other stuff going on.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm a bit the same. I can't remember whether I started watching Flan's videos or when I already had the game, or whether that prompted me. It definitely prompted me to eventually, after a few months, go and find the tournament Discord. And then probably a few months after that, get really confident in kind of posting and interacting. even though it's a really like welcoming, lovely community, it can be a little bit intimidating at first because there's a lot going on and a lot of kind of, I won't say jargonous. Well, it is jargon, I guess. A little bit of kind of internal bird game kind of assumed knowledge and slang and yeah, it can be a lot to get started. So I mean, I suppose that was another question when you started properly getting into the game and you started interacting in the tournaments Discord. Was there any particular kind of impressions that you can remember, or any particular players that kind of took you under their wing, or anything like that that you want to share?
In terms of people taking, like, people who took me under their wing, nice pun by the way. There's nothing like that, but I've had quite a lot of really nice feedback because I've obviously recorded quite a lot of my tournament gameplay and put it onto YouTube.
Sure.
So I have had a lot of lovely comments from people who have gone onto that. Why is Woodstock there?
Yeah,
oh.
It's just sitting there looking all.
I'm going to answer the question.
Attractive.
Can we ignore that tray for a second so I don't go mad? Yeah. I can't remember now, and I don't want to get the names wrong about who came up. I know Michael the Dracula was also, who's in the chat here, was a very early commenter on my videos. There were probably other people, but again, a lot of it's just mushed into it. I'll have to go back onto those early videos and I'll see the names. Also then, because YouTube names are not the same as the Discord names, so it's very easy to mix up.
Sure, yeah.
But there were a lot of people commenting on there. But in terms of having somebody mentoring me inside the community or playing games like that, not so much.
Sure.
A lot of the experience was very... I didn't play multiplayer until maybe a few months ago. A lot of it was just, as soon as the tournament came up, right, I'll enter it and just trying to learn that way and just doing 1v1 stuff.
That makes sense. And yeah, I had it's not a similar sort of experience. I do have pretty strong memories of kind of groping around in the dark a little bit in the early days, and I remember particularly, and I will mention names, Warbling Warbler, lovely player. She reached out and helped me do my first ELO, and I definitely try, and knowing that that's such a strong memory for me and such a positive experience, I try, and whenever I see somebody kind of flailing and clearly new, I kind of go, oh, okay, I'll sort of help you out. And I know how impactful that can be, even if it only takes a few minutes out of my day to kind of explain some things and etc. It can really make a difference to somebody's kind of initial impressions of the server. So yeah, I can definitely, and I think that'll probably be a common question that I might ask throughout the episodes, sort of what were your initial impressions of the server, and also sort of what your impressions kind of are now, and how you think the server, I suppose, works and doesn't work and stuff like that. Not to get too far into sort of controversial kind of areas, like we don't need to be super critical or anything, probably keep it positive, but it's a really great space, and I you know, people ask me about my cute little online bird game habit, and I'll talk so many praises about our little community and what I get out of it, and it's really great. So yeah.
Agreed. I mean, the thing I took away from the community was that at the time that I joined, again, not to get into Dracula stuff too early, but the reason why I joined the community sooner than I would have done ordinarily was I must have seen from Flan's videos that there was a separate server for tournaments, not just the one that's on the main menu of the game that is promoted from Monster Couch. And that was at the period of time when I was trying to organize the first ever Fear of Dracula competition. And I remember dropping into the Discord and saying something along the lines of, "Hi everybody, I want to play this game, I bought the game and I want to play it, but I have questions about tournament questions first about organization." Because obviously I could see very instantly by going into the Discord, it's very well organized and there's lots of things going on. You can clearly see there's like 2 or 3 tournaments ongoing at the same time, etc. So I just asked, can anybody guide me through some tournament organization? And obviously then that's when Flan popped up and said yes, and you know, so he was really helpful, and I keep saying that a lot on stream and things, that Flan was very helpful at the beginning in terms of giving me advice on how to run tournaments, even though the scale of tournament is very, very different. It's a completely different game and the community is a different size. But if you see we've now got a separate Discord just for Free Dracula tournament organization, and a lot of the organization of it is inspired by how the Wingspan community does it.
Sure.
We haven't got, it's not as high tech. We haven't got all the bots and things. That is which I'd love to have, but we haven't got the technical capability at the moment to run all that stuff. But the way it's organized and the way that we think about and how we've had same issues like Wingspan community would have with people dropping out and things like that. The way that we approach things is in the way that I've seen the admin in the Wingspan community do it, and from the advice that Flan gave me. So that was my main early impressions, was because I came from that perspective, not in terms of I want to compete in these tournaments.
Yeah,
that
sure.
came later. Once then, I had a little bit more free time and I could explore Wingspan.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the scale of some of the tournaments that are run on the server, it's staggering. Sometimes I look down the list in the challenge and I go, wow, that's so many players and so many different little groups, and it's crazy how big some of them are and how well organized. So yeah, can definitely definitely give props to where they're due, and the bots and everything. Yeah, it's so impressive for sure. So yeah, are you going to take this white stalk in the tray, Mr. Scott?
I mean, I really should. I was planning not to. It's going to ruin my data analyst. But I mean, I could also just leave it for you, I suppose. It's going to make I'm losing nectar by doing this, so I'm kind of very indecisive.
That's true.
Now.
I also have a nectar spend problem. But
you know, sorry, I'm not going to take it. I'm gonna leave the decision over to you if you want white stork. Even though white stork's one of my favorite birds, and actually in real life there's a lot of white storks where I live, but I'm gonna defer over to you, and I'm gonna play this.
All right, and you're gonna lob that to me. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, what I am going to do, I think, is follow my heart and play Mr. Loggerhead Shrike.
Yay!
With the intent to cycle the hooded crow in my hand for the white stork.
That makes. I mean, that's another way that you can do it. Oh, a Toma, really? Fine. I was gonna get the point anyway.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Although that woodstock is also very tempting.
True.
But I think I probably need some card draw, apart from the rough, and that white stalk's going to help me do that.
Oh, that time would be perfect. Oh well.
Oh well.
Never mind.
Oh, miss out on the extra egg because you didn't play enough wormbirds. Pull your socks up, mate. Alright. And yes, this starling in my back pocket also
Oh, you picked that up. Oh.
Makes me happy.
Cheeky.
Controversial, says Hen.
What was controversial? Leaving the white stork?
Leaving the woodstock, maybe? Or playing Loggy when it's not potentially the the best decision. Serves me right. Got a phone call after my sassy Loggy comment and missed the scolding. I can re-scold you if you like. That's always available. Pull your socks on. Pull your socks up. Pull your socks up.
Brits say that too. I'll do better for this end of round goal.
Scott leaving the stalk. Yes, that was controversial. Him running a grasslands.
I need to protect the data analyst at all costs.
See, I do that too. I get really caught up. That roseate spoonbill is very nice. Well, I'd be tempted to pull that. Maybe I will. How are we doing? Oh, it's neck and neck for points at the minute. Never heard the expression before. Okay. You probably get a lot of that, and maybe not necessarily that one, but I have a lot of Australian slang up my sleeve that tends to, I mean, some of it's intentional. I want to highlight one or two sometimes, but sometimes it'll just come out of my mouth and I won't even realise that it's not a commonly used expression in other parts of the world.
Natalia is very accustomed to. We have quite a lot of language and culture conversation on my streams. It's been quite eye-opening at times.
All right, bye Zobi. Thanks for dropping by. Loggy got a cash, everybody!
Yay!
Yay!
Loggy's the real winner.
The real winner here, for sure. All right, my turn. What am I gonna do? I think it'll be White Stork. Let's pay some of these berries.
No, it can't be behaviorist. I had behaviorist and I chucked it.
Yeah, that's true. I might find a rival though.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, rival would really help with that. Let's play this. Even more co-op.
What are you doing over there? Crossbill, Rufus Owl, and Kookaburra. Okay.
Oh yeah, the whole soft pretzel chat. Oh my goodness, I'll never recover from that.
Do I want to know? I don't want to accidentally stumble into another shoey conversation. Oh no, I've said the word shoey. No.
Go back watch the AMA stream.
The
if you don't know
AMA
what that is.
stream. Yeah, kind of got very sidetracked by the concept of a celebratory shoey for a good 15 minutes of the runtime. OP Loggy indeed, Hen, for sure. Alright, do I want this Goldeneye? I don't actually have... Oh, I suppose the Starling has good cavity space. You're definitely running your wetlands quite a lot. We've got a question from the chat, which is about to pop up on screen. What's your favourite part of living in Spain, Scott?
I mean, I should say my wife, right? That's probably the best answer.
Oh.
That's probably the most, especially if she's watching this, she won't be happy if I don't say that.
Cute.
It's a tricky one. I mean, just see if I catch up. Oh goodness, there's just...
What's the options? Like the food, the weather, the people.
It's a bit too hot for me. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
In that sense, I'm still very Scottish, and I get burned very easily.
Right.
Yeah, the food is a big plus. Not that British food is bad or anything, but just the quality of the products over here. The pace of life is also just a little bit slower, which I think nowadays it's something to be valued. But it's kind of tricky because, I mean, not to get too deep into it if we don't necessarily want that for the stream, but not that I've got a problem talking about it, but it's the fact I came here in kind of slightly awkward circumstances. So I came right at the end of, I was doing a doctorate, so I came at the end of that, and I was really stressed out with all that, and basically my wife and I at that time were coming to the end of a 6-year long distance relationship. So a lot of the sort of main things about coming to Spain was more the necessity of us to be together. There wasn't a very strong conscious choice of where do you want to live and all this sort of thing. It was just the circumstances all fell into place. I could come to Spain, so I did, and then suddenly the pandemic happened, so I found myself trapped in Spain without any sort of possibility to come back to the UK properly.
Yeah, sure.
And my wife had work here, so why on earth would we disrupt that?
Sure.
If she wouldn't be guaranteed to find work in the UK and whatever.
Yeah.
So, it's never really that we evaluated the pros and cons of living one place or the other, but definitely I feel just the pace of life is a little bit better, and I'm watching quite a lot of things. I mean, not that Spain is perfect, I'm not saying that it is, but I'm watching certain things which are happening in the UK, and I'm really happy that I'm here. That's just how...
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree there's some worrying things coming out of the UK currently, for sure, as good allies. Basically, I can relate to a lot of what you just said on two fronts. Firstly, I had a long distance relationship myself when I was younger. That was my first proper relationship, so can definitely relate hard to the difficulties and struggles of that. And on the second front, I in my early 20s when I was dating my my current partner, my husband, for a couple of years, we packed up and moved to Brisbane. So moved a couple of states north, and was completely like a massive change in everything that I'd sort of known in terms of lifestyle and different things. And I felt incredibly homesick for a good like part of the first year that I was there. And so yeah, changing location can be a really difficult sort of process, particularly if you weren't perhaps the pandemic did stuff a lot of people's plans in terms of their choices were limited and they were sort of stuck doing things and being places that they weren't planning to be. So yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
We just had to adapt to it. There's nothing else we could do. We had to adapt to it. That's the thing. The one positive about Spain that I'll because maybe a lot of people might not know this, but Spain, before coming to Spain, I just assumed that Spain was this homogenous entity. Because I didn't know anything about Spain, really.
I honestly don't know a lot about Spain. Yeah, so.
In terms of its culture, but since living here, I've come to, and there's still a lot of things I need to explore, but it's a country that has a lot of separate cultural entities to it. You've obviously got the Catalan region, which has its own distinct identity. And they got the Basque region as well, and then you've got the northern part, very Atlantic, almost like Scotland, but a little bit warmer. And then you got the southern part, which has a very different identity as well, and all the different cuisine and language that comes with it. So there's so much to explore here, which is really, really neat. And now that very recently my wife and I have got a car, so we're really looking forward to going off and exploring all these different places.
Yeah, for sure. No, I look forward to seeing some photos if you go exploring, for sure. Just replying to your question, Yaz, yeah, we just streaming here on YouTube. I don't have a Twitch account, so yeah, this is kind of the home for the channel, if that's what you were asking. What's going on with this game? So I didn't really note that the Automa has birds that are worth 3 or 4 points that it's pulling out of the tray.
Yanking some good stuff from you.
Oh no, accidental habitat mode. We don't do that here. Which is funny because one of the draft optional kind of names I was tossing out for the stream, what was my original concept, Hen? What was the original one I wanted to go with? Flock mode. I wanted to go for flock mode, but it was sort of taken by a few kind of birdie kind of things or a few other things around the internet, so I had to search for another name, and habitat mode was on the shortlist, but no. As soon as I thought of Shrike That, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the one.
I mean, obviously the Shrike because of Loggy, but is there a pun as well involved?
Well, yeah,
with that?
sort of Strike That. I suppose it's sort of like a conversational, like, I don't know. Other than that, yeah, just something to do with Loggy felt right because it's kind of become my own personal meme, right? My little mascot. What am I going to play, by the way? Let's put down. Ooh, it's like a chicken or an egg thing, right? We'll go Starling, because we want to do that. And I need some cards as well. Bit card poor. Wouldn't say no to some card share, Scott.
Some card share. Problem is, at the moment, I'm having to put all of my eggs in the cockatoo basket at the moment. I'm not getting enough.
Flock talk. That was right, Hen. Thank you. I knew that wasn't quite right when I said flock mode. Flock talk.
I mean that barn swallow is tempting, but then I've got Rosella and Flycatcher, and that means there's a lot of food coming your way if I can get these down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're eyeing off the barn swallow in my hand. No, that's mine, buddy.
Oh.
I meant card share, like put a flipping sandpiper down or something and give me freebies.
I want to give you so many food freebies. What more do you want? Especially since you've got a starling and all. This is playing right into your hands, by the way.
I'll take it. Hello, Grim. Welcome. Thanks for coming along.
I'm going to get rid of Hornlark. I know I'll make Terminator very unhappy. But never mind. Had to be done.
Oh, hard luck. Oh no. How are we going points wise? Okay, I've jumped up a bit. I'll stop asking for free stuff. Okay. Yes, feed my starling. Yeah. And Loggy! Second cash for Loggy. Yay!
That's going very well for you.
Very well indeed. I do need some stuff to cycle. Oh. Tough choices ahead with the rough. Alright. So, end of round 2. Good spot to introduce the main topic, I suppose, which is going to consume part of this episode, which is would it be fair to say it's your first love game-wise, Fury of Dracula?
In terms of something that has been, in terms of a board game love, something that's been very consistent, then yes, I would say so. Especially since I started the channel because of it, and I've been so involved with the whole tournament scene for the last basically 3 years non-stop. Then yes. In terms of video games and board games, there've been other stuff that's come along, but in terms of something that I've really fixated on, then yes, I would say so. Very much so.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'll let it go. Sorry, just quickly doing my rough. So to give us the elevator pitch, so somebody says, I'm looking for a board game, and maybe they're like known to be into macabre kind of supernatural kind of things, and you think, oh, I've got the perfect board game for this person, I just need to convince them. And also maybe knowing, because I did listen to your video on your channel about why we love Fury of Dracula, and noting that that you bought the physical game and your friends didn't like it.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
What would you say to pitch somebody on Fury of Dracula? Sort of explain what the game is and why they should play.
Okay. Fury of Dracula is a very multifaceted game. A lot of people do come into it because they like the whole vampire theme and they're big fans of the Dracula media anyway, the films or the book or whatever. The cool thing about the board game from a thematic perspective is it's actually based off the book. It's meant to be a sequel to the book, but a lot of the time when we're playing it, we think of it as being the novel. But there's a lot of thematic aspects of how the characters in that game find Dracula and deal with him. They are replicated in the game, and there are characters' names in the book which then come up in the board game and stuff. So from a thematic point of view, there's a lot of cool things with that if you're familiar with the media of Dracula and vampires. But the game itself is deep. I can't remember, in terms of everyone knows Board Game Geek's scale, it's above a 3, I think, if I remember rightly. I'm
Nice.
going to look it up, just don't get it wrong. It's like a 3.5 out of 5, I think, in terms of the scale of difficulty. It's also quite an old game. There's been through 4 different iterations.
I did notice that actually. The original game,
we live
older
in
than I
the
am.
5th one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one maybe came out in the 80s, I want to say.
87.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then got completely reworked for 2nd edition, and then there was a break, and then it got reworked again for 3rd edition, and then that's how I discovered the game. Was the 3rd edition was showcased on Tabletop, which is the YouTube series that Will Wheaton was part of. So that's how I discovered that, and that had a huge effect on that. And basically, the game sold out more or less because of Will Wheaton showcasing it on there. And then a different company got the rights to publish the 4th edition, and then it went out of print again before checking out the 4th edition. But basically, the premise of the game is, if you know something like Scotland Yard or Layers of Whitechapel, then you'll recognize some of the mechanics. It's basically an asymmetric hidden movement game where you've got up to 4 people controlling 4 hunter characters. But you can also play 1v1, and one person will control all 4 hunters, and you'll have another person playing as Dracula. And the way it works is these 4 hunter characters are on the map. Well, let's do Dracula first. Dracula's moving around the board in a secret way, and also for every city location he walks into, he places down an encounter, which is basically a nasty trap that he leaves behind. if these traps survive on his trail for a week and they fall off the other side, then they mature and bad stuff happens to the hunters and to the board state in general. And if Dracula accumulates enough vampiric influence over the course of the game, then he wins. The hunter objective is to find where Dracula is hiding on the map, deal with his encounters, and then eventually get onto his space, get into combat with him, and kill it. That's basically the deal. So there's a lot of different stuff going on. There's I view it as a resource management game, especially from the hunter perspective. You've got the hidden movement, you've got deduction. If you're playing around the table, then especially in a group, then Dracula can hear all the strategy talk that the hunters are talking about. But then there are some ways that hunters can talk in secret. There's the deduction side, there's bluffing. The combat system, at least in the later versions of the game, has no dice, so it's nothing like Riz. It's playing with combat cards. It's rock paper scissors-esque. Rock paper scissors lizard Spock. If you know that meme, that's basically how combat works. So there's a lot of different aspects to it. So it's deep. There's a steep learning curve to it. But it's also very narrative driven, because the way the events fall out and the way that Dracula's trail is revealed, it makes a different game every single time. And then once you add in the personalities of the players you're playing against, you have some Dracula players who are very aggressive, some who are not, or they'll change during the game. Sometimes Draculas have to play unpredictably, because they have to try and trick the hunters, or sometimes they'll play as predictable as possible. Some hunter players are also equally as aggressive, some are more passive. It just depends. So that really builds the narrative of the game and makes it very exciting to play, but also to watch. And it's very deep. You can really get stuck into it. The fact I've been with it for now 3 years, more or less. I've gone through periods where I haven't played as much, because I play in tournaments and they're very intense, so then I have to take a bit of time off. And also I'm making content for it, so I do need to take breaks, but more or less it's been a consistent part of my life for the last 3 years. So it's really sort of it's really grabbed me. Very different from Wingspan. For the resource management side, that would probably be the one thing that I would say to Wingspan players. If you like resource management and turn efficiency, then you'd probably like it. But then you like the hunter side rather than the Dracula side, because Dracula's trying to disrupt the hunter efficiency. That's kind of the way that I'd pitch it.
Sure. And yeah, if you like the Dracula side, you're probably more, as a Wingspan player, maybe more into really analysing what the opponent is doing, and into counters and things like that. Yeah. So from my little bit of research I did this evening on Fury of Dracula, mostly through watching the tabletop episodes, which I was really hooked on, even just after watching those. I could really tell that the game really seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, kind of built around the theme rather than the theme kind of being shoehorned into the game. Because like other themed games, I've got quite a big board game collection, and a lot of the themed games that I have are, say, my Star Trek version of Settlers of Catan, or I've got the Call of Cthulhu themed Pandemic. And by kind of, I suppose, an effect of them being a version of an existing game, the theme is kind of just overlaid over the top quite superficially. And watching the Fury of Dracula being played, I could really see that the theme was just so essential to it, and so kind of built into its DNA, that it seemed really cool and appealed to me in that way. But it's interesting to hear you say that you weren't that familiar with the source material. Are you sort of now familiar? Did you go and read the Bram Stoker book? And
I started reading through it. It's quite a heavy read.
Sure.
And I think just because a lot of my spare time
classics
gets consumed.
Pretty heavy generally. Yeah.
Learning a lot of new interesting vocabulary from it. But it's neat then, obviously, when I'm reading it, because I can connect it with certain aspects of the game, and that then makes a lot of sense. But I think because a lot of my spare time is just so internet focused, trying to find time to sit and read is quite limited. I do need to try and change that habit and do it. No, I haven't actually consumed a lot of the vampire media, just because, again, I'm just so obsessed with the streaming and the content creation from that side. I haven't had time, but at some point in my life I will go into it and and check it out, and it will make the connection with. I think that's kind of cool though, because in our community we've got that mix of, we got people who came from it more from the thematic side, we've got people who come from it more from, they like strategical board games, so then they see something that's also highly strategical, so they take it. So we've got a nice mix of people. So then when I'm talking to certain folk in commentary and whatever, they'll educate me about certain aspects of the game from a thematic perspective, and then we'll have other conversations about the actual board game, you know, strategy side. So we're all learning from each other from it, which is really neat. And when we did that video, Why We Love Fear of Dracula, everybody came up with different answers.
Yeah, that was really sweet. Yeah. No, really cute. And I can see strategy-wise that there's a bit of a seesaw, a bit of a shift in the community as to opinions on how strong how the balance is in terms of the Dracula and the hunters, and who has the advantage, and that the latest patch sort of affected that a little bit as well. And I suppose my next question, would you be more of a Dracula player yourself, or do you prefer the hunters, or do you think you're quite balanced in how you like to play?
If I had my way, I'd be more balanced, especially with the tournaments that we've been. The tournament that's ongoing at the moment, that's not the case, but normally when we've done what we call our World Championship, our League of Dracula, for us it's every autumn, for you it'd be every spring, at the end of the year, let's put it that way, to be nice to the Southern Hemisphere. In that tournament, you have to play both sides, so you can't specialize.
Yeah, sure.
People will naturally specialize, but you have to be consistent on both roles. You have to be good enough to win. I am more of a hunter player though, just because when I first started, a lot of the conversation was that Dracula was too strong, and there was a previous member, well, still a member of the community, but there was a previous content creator for Fear of Dracula who took it under their reason for starting their channel was, I'm going to showcase how hunters are actually strong. You need to play a very specific way. So then I just continued that, and especially when I joined the community, I did play a couple of games as Dracula, but then I got taken under the wing of not this content creator but another community member who said, we'll do hunters together, we'll play as a team. So because I got my first win on the hunter side and not on Dracula's side, it meant the bug had bitten, so I kept going playing hunters solo.
Sure.
So just naturally, and also when a lot of new people come into the community, because Dracula has the more shallow learning curve, I normally just naturally then go hunters against them.
Sure. Which is interesting, because on Tabletop they said the more experienced players should be Dracula, so
yeah, that's not a good idea.
Not really the case. Okay. No. That's interesting.
Playing hunters is extremely difficult. If you have no idea what you're doing, even a moderately good Dracula player can really embarrass the hunter player if the hunter player is not playing even moderately efficiently. It's very, very, very difficult.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. And from what you said about that particular streamer kind of going out there with a bit of a thesis statement, that they would sort of set out to prove that the hunters were stronger or just as strong, I suppose that can be a really enjoyable way to approach a game, and I sort of know that from limited experience myself and what I've observed on our Wingspan server, is that I can see that a few years ago full tuck wasn't really a thing until somebody sort of came along and proved that, you know, that's a viable strategy. And even my own limited experience this last festive season, people might be aware that I had this crackpot theory that if you cut the base game out of the deck for 2-player festive games, that was going to get you a really high score. And it's a really cool feeling to kind of prove, or even if it's disproven, if you try and champion a bird and it turns out that it's not good, it's kind of cool to kind of stand by your strategy and try it out. And yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah. It was a big thing, because I can't take a lot of credit for a lot of the brainstorming behind the hunters, because the previous content creator, Quincy Morris, he had done most of the legwork on that with the physical board game, and looking at it and realizing certain things that were naturally baked into the design of the game, but maybe the designers didn't realize the meta that could have been built because of it. But then just as time has gone on, naturally just by playing, I found other things, and I've tweaked certain aspects of how the hunters play, and then naturally as more and more people come into the community, they come in with their own ideas, and then now Dracula has evolved with the way that Dracula plays, and now hunters are having to respond to it. And the meta naturally sort of flows and shifts a little bit, because if Dracula starts doing a certain thing, the hunters will naturally start to counter it. So then Dracula then has to go back the other direction. So it's kind of used to then the individual people as well have their own personalities. I'm just seeing a comment in the chat. It is available on Steam. There is the soundtrack on Steam, but the game is on Steam. It's also on mobile as well. It's on all platforms, but cross-play is only possible with mobile, tablet, and PC. But most of us play on PC.
Yeah, very cool. And yeah, when I'm next looking for a game on Steam to potentially get obsessed with, because I definitely have that kind of obsessive latch on and hyperfixate sort of personality. When I'm ready for my next fixation, perhaps I'll be knocking on your door to teach me how to play properly.
You'd be very well. I know the Terminator's made the leap.
Okay.
So he'll be able to comment on how things have been going for him.
Yeah.
Anybody from the community, you'd all be very welcome. I'm very happy to showcase. I want to create a video actually very, very soon. I try to do it on stream. Is to do like a Fear of Dracula for Dummies or 101 video where I showcase the moves and then the basics for the different sides, and then build it up as a series. So a lot of the strategy videos I've got on my channel are fine, but you need to have a basic understanding of how the game works first. I want to do from very, very basics. But there is other content out there, but I want to consolidate.
Yeah, and I did see that you do have some sort of tips and tricks sort of content for Fury of Dracula on your YouTube channel there as well. So certainly, yeah, you can see that there's some resources that you yourself have made as well. So yeah, very cool. Alrighty, so if we get back to the game a little bit and proceed, what are we up to over here? Oh, I didn't even see the Rosella going down. You're right, more food for me.
Lots of food for you, and I'm getting lots of nice birds, so I'm very happy.
Very nice, very nice.
And I'm going to max data analyst, so everybody who questioned it...
Gave up the white stalk for it. At what cost, Scott? At what cost?
Exactly. I'm very happy with the birds I've got in my hand right now,
okay.
So who's laughing now?
Fair enough. We love that for you. Alright, so what am I going to do? I think I'm ready for a bonus card, so let's get that down. I really need to get some more forest birds down though. Although maybe not if you're going to chuck lots of food at me for my starling.
Ah.
Maybe I'm not a forest engine. What else have I got here?
We don't do competitive multiplayer in terms of tournaments, just because the scheduling for that's going to be really cumbersome. We're already having to try and deal with, at least most of the members from our community are in NA or Europe, so automatically trying to deal with that transatlantic crossing is very difficult. Well, I was going to say, yeah, you know it more than anybody else. Do I take that runner? Oh, that's something. Oh, you got a little penguin. Yeah. No, we'll just take from the top. Alrighty. Happy days. So yeah, the scheduling for that is just too awkward. So in terms of tournaments, we keep it to 1v1. But what we've tried to do is in between tournaments, we'll have, especially during the summer months, we'll have community group games. So we can try in advance to try and get up to 5 people to play. And it has a very different vibe to it. So the game was built to be played with groups rather than 1v1. So you do lose that little bit of, you do lose that side of the game. Obviously, then the learning curve is more difficult for one person trying to control 4 hunters. Somebody can't hear you.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's really weird. I just saw that my mic was on mute. Perhaps I accidentally hit something on the keyboard when I was messing around with it. I hope I haven't been muted for long. My husband's computer is a bit mysterious to me, so apologies for that. Hopefully I haven't been muted for very long. So the roseate spoonbill has got me fishery or visionary. I think we'll go fishery.
Must have you got a little penguin there.
Oh,
That's
good. I'm
decent.
glad I fixed it. Hopefully, hopefully you raise the alarm pretty quick, and thank you, Zoe. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was definitely just like fidgeting with the keyboard, so I suspect I pressed something. And before I had a pen in my hand, I was clicking the pen, and I was like, oh god, I hope that's not audible on stream.
If we can hear your keyboard, we can probably hear the pen. Not that I heard the pen.
There was some clicking. That's what it was. Okay, my turn. What am I going to do? Fishery and ecologist. I need to play some birds. 5 turns, and I'm in danger of losing this end around to you. Oh, you have such nice forest birds. I'm really jealous. Damn you.
Yeah. I'm a happy boy right now.
You are. I've got wetland birds. Maybe I play some wetland birds and then draw some cards.
And the nectar for the forest isn't really a big deal because I'm not winning it. So
we'll see. We'll see. It's all good. Do you prefer, if you had a choice, Fury of Dracula, do you prefer it multiplayer or 1v1?
I'm a bit of a control freak, especially on hunters,
Sure.
so I'd rather do it 1v1, but maybe at the moment I'm not playing very well, so I'd probably appreciate having someone next to me.
Someone to blame.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. You want to encourage people as much as possible, but yeah, I'm a little bit type A in that respect with certain things. I'd rather just have my stuff, and I'll be responsible if I lose. That's my own fault.
Sure.
But the community aspect, when you get if you have a group that clicks together around the table, it can just be, some of the best laughs I've had with being community group games, and everyone's just taking the piss, and that's exactly what you want.
Sure. I was thinking, if I was playing with friends around the table, I don't think I'd be able to resist doing a bit of a Count from Sesame Street impression if I was Dracula.
a lot of people.
Ideally, you 2 damage. 1, 2,
do I need to throw away an egg here? Can I get all these birds played? Let's see. Oh, no, I can't play all these birds. Okay, then we'll toss an egg then. That's fine. Oh, just keep giving me pig point birds, game. Thank you.
What a problem to have. How's the scores looking, by the way? Okay. All right. You've got some work to do to catch up. Loggy Cash, by the way. We're on 3 now. Yay! I give Loggy the jazz hands. Oh, sorry, I just whacked my microphone there.
Yeah, that we heard.
Yeah, sorry. Rookie mistakes. Alright, let's dig. Do I want the Road Runner? I probably do want the Skimmer, actually. That'll do.
For your fishery match, I didn't even think about that.
That'll do. Very nice. Hello, Polo. What you doing, bud? Huh? What you doing? What you doing, little boy? Oh, I got him. Oh, look, everybody.
Is it Apollo?
It's a
I'll
ginger.
turn it to stream.
It's a ginger boy. Hello. This is Apollo. We call him Beans. Loggy is too good, hen. Thank you. He's not going to stay. He's punching me in the throat.
Oh dear.
Oh. Down he goes. Okay. Apollo cameo. I don't know that I've ever played Loggy. Zoe, all the brownie points you earned by telling me my mic was muted, you just lost them.
You just be lost instantly.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Guest appearance indeed. fancy pants. He does have fancy pants. He keeps his secrets in his pants.
You're getting so much food from me. Oh, this is insane.
So much.
Oh, there's Apollo. Aye. That's a fluffy boy.
He is so fluffy. Alright, let's get... let's get a forest bird in here.
Ah, Toma. Stop getting these cubes.
Oh, I've got a second aspirational behaviourist column actually. That was accidental. Where's that Rybill? I've been having Stardew withdrawals actually, because I realised that I should have stuck it out that extra day when we streamed Stardew the other day, because I didn't get to buy my chickens.
Oh, that's right. I got a couple.
You got a couple of chickens. Okay, well done.
We got three. We got 3 chicks now.
Cool. You fill my coop for me.
Absolutely.
So I'm not sure there's a ton of I could be wrong. I'm not sure there's a lot of crossover between people who play Wingspan and people who play Stardew Valley. You would kind of think so, but I'm willing to be I'm willing to be corrected on that.
Thanks for the nectar.
You're welcome. You have so much food.
Yep, and I've got a raven.
Nice.
It's like that's where all that food's getting funneled.
That is very nice. Oh, I wish I had the noddy for my fishery manager. You need some more bonus cards, dude.
I don't know if I'm getting them. I'm just gonna be playing all this lot. I'm just gonna max my board. That's all. That's my only objective.
Oh, I'm losing sent around. That's rough.
Can you play another bird?
I don't have any more forest birds.
Oh.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's. Oh, would you? No, you're actually not. If you got one more forest bird down, you're just denying me points. I won't take this Stardew sland. I've easily logged a year's worth of full-time job on Stardew.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Well, feel free to join if you like. We got a community playthrough. We got space up to 8 players. We got 4 already, so you're very welcome to join.
I was wondering how many spots you had left, whether people were sort of rotating.
I don't think we can rotate. I think once you've taken the slot, you got the slot, I think. But there are people who are interested, but there are only 4 people who have actually logged into play. So, you're very welcome. I am not in any way a Stardew expert. I just run around and have fun. So
That's okay. I mean, you said that, but I think you've got more knowledge than you think you do.
I know you can't see, but I'm shaking my head on stream. It has been nice.
Oh yeah, for sure. 1.6 was massive. There's so much new stuff. Alright, we need to find something worth playing. There's a raven. That's nice. Well, that's gonna have to do. Oh, fairy penguin missed. That's rough.
Fairy penguin. I forgot that. I forgot that was a thing.
Yes, another stream roll. It's a fairy penguin. It's not a little penguin. it is a dangerous door to open back up. When was I playing Stardew? It was 2 years ago when my husband was overseas for a few weeks, and I definitely binged that. I hit it real hard. Still got no forest birds, which is irritating. Oh, that nectar reroll. Damn it.
Damn, that's unfortunate. Thank you for re-rolling that before I took it.
Damn.
Well, you'll get probably 1 nectar from my Rosella if I activate it. I think I'm gonna have a lot of bird points, and that'll be it. I'm not gonna have much house.
Oh yeah, I don't even know where my score is coming from, to be honest. Must be them loggy caches.
Oh, you got nectar from your cockatoo. That's decent, though.
I would say your board looks better, apart from maybe having fewer like tucks and things.
Oh, theater. Oh man, my Rufus out wasn't gonna hit. That was stupid. That was daft.
Did you do that to yourself?
Yeah.
It's alright, it can't be stupider than I've got a async going with a couple of other Aussies, and I've got a killdeer mockingbird grasslands, and got distracted and saw something in the tray that I wanted and just took cards. And got a ping message from Stimphalion, who's playing with me, and he said, "Oh, just out of curiosity, what was the logic behind drawing cards there?" I was like, "Bold of you to assume that I'm not an idiot." Oh dear. So don't come to me for tips and tricks, people. I'm hopeless. Alright. Let's get our points from Fishery Manager. My cache is deceptive, yeah. Yeah, the Starling's doing some work. The roughs, I haven't quite had the card draw for the rough, unfortunately. That was my own doing.
Oh, do I need food? I think I do.
And you got
I'm
that
gonna
many.
give you stuff for cockatoo.
How many of
anyway.
these are you gonna play? Definitely the Raven and the Noddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna play everything.
Okay. Not the roller.
Not the roller. Obviously.
Obviously.
I would have had space for it.
I'd be really impressed if you managed to play the roller.
Do I need... Oh no, cockapoo might... no, I think we can skip this. If I've calculated this correctly, I don't think I need to take any food here. Hey, give me the rat. Good stuff. That's a very easy end game. Just play 3 birds.
I think I'm going to be egg spamming like it's baseboards.
Yeah, I'm really playing into the co-op mode of this game. Jenna's just got different ideas. I passed most of them there. I'd starve you out. Oh, yikes.
Hey, I laid out the rules.
If Zoe ever makes onto this stream, then you know what's going to happen.
Zoe would be very welcome. The guest sign up is in the description if anybody's keen.
That's it, Toma. Lose the end of round. That's it. Good. Good.
muchness.
And that no goal was really helpful.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a couple of extra turns.
Oh, look at you maxing out Fishery Manager.
Always feels good. You got a pretty big end game. Better than mine.
Yeah, will it be enough though is the question. No, Atoma, stop. I need the Atoma to lose the nectars. I'm tied for second place with the Atoma for all the nectar habitats. Come on, Atoma. You know you want to lose them.
Oh, I'm hanging on.
Atoma, you can't have 6 birds in the grassland. You're cheating. Well, I've broken 100, so I'm not complaining.
If only I had given you as much stuff as you gave me.
I want that to be known in the chat. This is a one-way street over here. I just got a couple of nectars at the end.
Gemma's been stingy. I'm never coming back on this show again. I'll have to dismantle your personal playlist on my channel.
Oh. Mod. Oh, Toma.
Oh.
That's huge, by the way.
Just hung on.
I need the Toma to... Hey! I got second place in the wetland.
It's a clean sweep. Yes.
We beat the Atoma, that's the main thing. Loggy was in the game.
Loggy.
I maxed out grass and data analyst,
Loggy
so
did
we
some
can all go
work.
home happy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh!
Ooh, that's a good bird score.
I don't know if I've got anything higher than that. But then, here come the eggs and the tucks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Late egg spam from me.
Right, here you come. Yeah, you're gonna go whizzing past me here.
The tux.
Yeah,
Starling.
well played.
Not by that much.
GG.
Yeah, you caught up towards the end. GG's.
GG's.
GG's. Alright, let's have a bit of a look, though everyone already pretty much saw. That's how it all worked out. Very nice, the 5 caches on the Raven. Almost filled the board. I mean, that's why you didn't win, you just didn't try hard enough to fill the board, mate.
Clearly, yeah.
GG indeed.
That was it.
That was a fun one.
GG.
Very good. Very good, very good. Well, the other thing I had left on my notebook that I hadn't talked about yet, and perhaps it's my internal bias because I'm child-free, but I'd say congratulations that you're expecting a baby with your wife in a few months. So that's very exciting. Love that for you.
Thank you.
What are you most looking forward to about becoming a parent?
In terms of things that we'll be doing with her, I'm really looking forward to reading to her. I obviously know, I realize when she's first born, then that won't be a thing. But yeah, the idea of just sitting down and reading, especially finding, like, sharing our cultures with her, because obviously it's something anybody who's in a relationship with an international partner will know that you'll have potentially quite different upbringings in terms of the cartoons you used to watch might be different, or the books you used to read and such, and that is definitely the case for us. So the fact we can share both of those things with her will be really, really neat, and we're really looking forward to that.
Cute.
And I think also having, I don't know, I get maybe a bit cliche, but just the fact that we're going to become three, and we're
Yeah.
not just going to be two anymore. It's also very scary, of course.
Sure.
The lives are going to change forever in a completely irreversible way, but it's something that we've wanted for a long time. So
Oh, very
it's
good.
we're really looking forward to it. Thank you,
Exciting.
Bird Girl.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a kind of before baby, then after baby kind of a
Yeah, I've
fragment
kind of
in life stage. Yeah.
I'm probably setting up a Twitch live stream a few months before your baby's born was probably not a smart decision on my part. So that's going to be a very interesting adjustment for me in terms of.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone will understand that that comes first for sure. It's certainly a priority time commitment rather
Yeah,
than.
definitely. We'll just take it. We'll go with the flow, and then once she's here, then we'll be able to assess what
Sure. Hey,
we
maybe you'll
together, both
start
me
being the
personally,
one
why can't.
that streams at unhinged times of the night.
Well, it might end up happening that way. I don't. We'll have to see. And then you'll be very happy to be. You won't have to be a bedtime criminal
Yeah.
to take part or to watch.
Sure. We can
yeah,
play
just be a
Stardew at
case
my
of-
prime time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, very cool. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's probably us done. To be honest, that was a good 90 minutes, which is about what I had in mind, really. Somewhere between 1 and 2 hours. So that's pretty perfect. Any other questions from chat for Scott before we kind of look to wrap up? I'll give you a second to have a question or two come through. I'll scoop up Odin in the meantime. We can have a second cat cameo.
I'm so looking forward to all because you've programmed quite a lot of the live streams in advance. I'm so looking forward to getting to know other members from the community through this medium. I think it's going to be really cool. So, all props to you, Jennifer, putting this together.
Oh, thank you.
Not only is it working really well, but it's a really nice idea. So yeah,
Yeah.
full credit to you for
I
that.
suppose this is the first time I've been able to show off kind of my full concept in kind of me doing a little bit of research is probably too strong a word, but just a little bit of thinking about what I want to discuss before jumping on the stream and yeah, kind of planning it out. And yeah, I think the game, the open hand thing is pretty fun. And yeah, we can always pause in between rounds and have a proper chat about something and then keep going. But yeah, I think we'll kind of feel it out over the next few episodes and see what works and what doesn't. But certainly appreciate your support of me in this development phase, particularly because I didn't know you from a bar of soap three weeks ago. And yeah,
very happy to help.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. You've been very generous with your time. And I'm seeing there's a question from Kitty. Do you speak Spanish?
I do, not fluently, but I'm getting there. I recently did. I don't know. This will probably mean stuff to Europeans. People who are not European might not know what this is, but B2. So B2 is like the upper intermediate sort of ranking. So I did the exam recently and I passed it. So
well done.
definitely not fluent, but getting there. The problem is I live in the Catalonia region, so that region is bilingual with Catalan and Spanish. So I'm having to try and juggle both languages at the same time.
Sure.
But Catalan's taken a little bit of a back seat because I came here with a little bit of Spanish knowledge. So I had a period of time where I was doing both, and then because I had the same teacher and my Spanish level was always higher than Catalan level. Anytime I couldn't say something in Catalan, I would just say the Spanish word with Catalan pronunciation and hoped it'd be correct, and most of the time it wasn't. So eventually I just dropped in, only did Spanish, and my Spanish level went up really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It could probably be a lot better than it is, but the thing is I work in an English speaking environment, and also all of my free time is English based because I'm doing all my streaming and stuff, and my wife and I talk in English. So because we met in Scotland, we didn't meet in Spain. So yeah, apart from talking to certain people in my work who don't speak English, or then talking to my family-in-law, I don't have a huge number of opportunities to speak Spanish, but I want to keep pushing through it anyway. And potentially change jobs, I get into a Spanish-speaking environment and stuff. So it's something that I'm doing, and when I can, and I really enjoy it. It's really cool because when you're learning a language, you do really connect more with the culture and things. So it's neat.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, that's a good question. I was wondering that myself, the extent to which you spoke Spanish. I suppose I assumed that you might be fluent, but it's interesting that you said, if you aren't using it sort of heavily in your day-to-day, then it doesn't sort of, I imagine, sort of push you to push through that kind of intermediate stage into proper fluency. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure.
I'm not consuming a lot of media in Spanish, but for example, I got my driving license recently because I never got it in the UK, and anyway, because of Brexit and stuff, I'd have to redo the test probably. I went through the whole learning to drive in Spanish, so I did the test in Spanish for the theory, and then I did all the lessons in Spanish, and then I recently did scientific talks in Spanish as well. So I'm putting myself in situations where I have to use the language. So even if I'm not using it on a day-to-day basis, I'm putting myself in situations where I have to use it. So yeah, I'm not trying to shy away from it. It's just naturally the way my life has evolved a little bit. I'm not using it as much as maybe other people would if they came to live here.
Yeah, sure. Oh, very cool. All right. Well, to wrap up, as I said before, there are some links in the description. Scotsword's both his channels on Twitch and YouTube, his podcast, which is called, I remember, Keeping You Company, with his mate Arukumania, if I'm saying that correctly. And there's some more links to, if you're interested in Fear of Dracula. Fury. When you say it, it sounds like you're saying Fear of Dracula because of the way you say.
See, so I've had someone else say that to me too. So clearly, but in my brain, it's definitely Fury. But I just think it just gets
Fury of Dracula.
Together. Fury of Dracula, yes.
Yeah, definitely recommend those two Tabletop episodes, even though that's the 3rd edition and obviously the physical board game. And the online game is, I imagine, a bit different from the updates and etc. But check that out, and I'm probably sold on it myself. So that was probably one of the reasons why I wanted to chat so heavily about it tonight, because it really pulled my interest this evening when I was looking into it. So
yeah, lovely. But anybody's welcome. There's the Nomad Discord server is normally the place where we meet, but people can send me a PM or DM if they want to get involved with that. I'll just because we didn't talk about it too much, but it's fine. A very quick thing. The podcast, there's not a lot of board game discussion in there. It's a bit of a mixed bag. The whole point of the podcast, as the name suggests, is just to have something on in the background if you want to have something, if you're doing chores or working, or if you're having a bit of a rough day and you want just a voice in the background. That's what that is. So there's not a lot of very technical board game stuff. It's very, very different. We do talk about board games a little bit, but we talk about music. Arukamanya lived for several years in Japan, but he's based in the eastern side of the US, and obviously I'm living abroad, so we talk about languages and culture shock and all that sort of stuff. So that's the thing on that. I also have electric. I'll plug to my Scottishness a little bit.
Didn't even talk about bagpipes. Okay, maybe next time. Yeah, we'll go into that.
If people can see on the camera, I've got them here, so I'll hold that up. So if you come to my stream, there might be electric bagpipes, so feel free to drop by for that.
How did I forget the bagpipes? Yeah, that's nuts. I have to save some stuff for next episode. Yet? No, I haven't.
We'll have to organise that for you.
Yeah, for sure. Next time. Alrighty. All right. Well, thank you very much, and thank you everybody for coming along, and nice chatting with everybody. And yeah, I hope you had a good time and found this entertaining. And certainly open to any feedback about either the technical side or the format or any ideas that you have. Definitely still kind of developing it, but pleased that we're able to sort of show off the core concept tonight. I think we'll sign off. Say goodbye to Odin. It's my old man.
Bye, Odin. Bye, Apollo. Put
him down. Apollo's somewhere, being a creature of the night. And catch everyone around soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.